Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be doing our Game Week 17 wildcard video. So I am recording this as of receiving the news that Manu versus Brentford may or may not carry on. So this is really big news. So in this wildcard draft, I actually created a draft with Ronaldo and also De Gea in the team already. But in light of the latest news, I've also created a new draft. So I'll be giving two drafts in this wildcard video. Hopefully, you guys find it useful. One of it, of course, has players involved in the Manu versus Brentford game, and the other draft obviously does not. So, depending on the news, we can use either one. But the players in general that I've picked out are players that I think are very, very solid, and they have good form, good fixtures, and I think they're good to take into the second half of the season. So yeah, if you like this video, do give it a like and also hit that subscribe button. We are going to hit 100 subscribers very soon, so please help me out and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so this is our first draft, our first team, which includes De Gea and Ronaldo, as we can see. So the team value of this team is 100.8 million, and we're going to start in goal. So we have Gunnarsson and De Gea. So Gunnarsson is because he is the cheapest keeper at this point in time. And De Gea, we know a lot of people has been starting to pick De Gea, and rightly so, because at this point in time, he's the keeper with the best run of fixtures. And also it seems like Ralph Rangnick has come in, and Manu's defense, I know it still has been a bit shaky, but I trust that actually they're going to start picking up some clean sheets, as we have seen as well. So yeah, going with De Gea in goal. And in defense, we have James, Cancelo, Trent, Diaz, and Sofal. Nothing much to say here other than the fact that I'm still going to go with a double Man City defense, and Cancelo still makes the team even though he's suspended, because he will come back after suspension and we need to have Cancelo. He's really very good. And so far it's kind of more of a differential pick just because West Ham's run is quite good. Moving into quite deep into the second half, so far looks quite nailed as well because Ben Johnson is currently nursing a hamstring injury. So we know Sofal in the past seasons has given us assist returns as well. So he's not just a player that we rely on to get clean sheet points, but he can also get us attacking returns, so he makes this team. And then in midfield, we have Silva, Gallagher, Salah, Brownhill, and Bowen. So talking about the obvious picks first, Salah definitely has to make the team. Brownhill is there just as a placeholder, just for someone to be on our bench. So talking more about the other three picks, Silva, we know he's in really good form. City have a good run of fixtures coming up as well, so we're really gonna expect some attacking returns from Silva. And Gallagher, as we've seen over the weekend, he is really an asset to have. I think he's a really good striker of the ball. I know that he has been playing deeper in recent times, and people were worried about whether he will get attacking returns moving forward. But he has shown how good he is, and yeah, honestly, I do still think that there are returns in store for Gallagher, and that's why he makes this team. And lastly, for Bowen, I've chosen Bowen because I know West Ham's run is really good. And I'd rather go for Bowen over Antonio just because I feel like Antonio at this point in time, he is the point man, but I feel he has been lacking a little bit of form. But you know, he actually is in my next draft, but I will explain that later on. But I've chosen for Bowen instead for this draft just because Bowen is on set pieces as well. He's also very involved in the attack, and yeah, he can get us some returns there. And up front, we have gone for Ronaldo, of course, and then we have King and Gelhardt. So Gelhardt, we know that Leeds, he's a substitute for Leeds mostly, but he is someone that can come on and make a difference. So he's quite a good placeholder at 4.5 million. And King, we know Watford has good run, and also they're improving attackingly as well. So King is kind of a no-brainer pick for someone at a 5.8 mil range, and also he's on penalty, so that's quite good. So I've gone for Ronaldo in this draft, as I said earlier, just because Ronaldo, we know his run is very good. He's got a penalty over the weekend as well, and yeah, we are expecting some goals from him moving forward. But this draft, as I've said, includes De Gea and Ronaldo, and we need to be aware that the game against Brentford may be postponed. So let's take a look at whether it gets postponed or not, and if it does, then we may have to revert to our next draft. So for this particular draft, if you have an extra 1 mil, I'd recommend upgrading Gunnarsson to Buckman, just because it may make sense just to have two playing keepers. And also, if you do have more cash than an extra 2 mil, I'd actually upgrade Gallagher to Jota. So Jota has actually come back from injury, as we've seen over the weekend. And Jota right now, Liverpool has the best attack, honestly, the best attack in the league right now. And I feel like Jota will still get a lot of starts because Firmino hasn't been back to full fitness at this point in time. So I really do think he will start the next game. So yeah, if you have an extra 2 mil, you can bring Jota in for Gallagher. And lastly, if you have an extra 2 mil, you can also bring Watkins in for King. So Watkins has a really good fixture coming up, fixture run coming up. He's playing Norwich next as well, so you really can expect some returns from him there. So now we have our second draft, and as we can see, it excludes players that will be involved in the Manu versus Brentford game. And we can see as well the team value is also the same at about 100.8 mil. And in goal, we have Bachmann and Ramsdale. So as I said earlier as well, I think it may make sense for us to have two playing keepers. And given that the funds have been released from Ronaldo to fund other areas of our team, so now Bachmann can come into the team as well. And we have Ramsdale because in general, we don't want to make a lot of changes to our keepers over the course of the season and also moving forward. So if at this point in time we can't go for De Gea, we may have to go with Ramsdale and stick with Ramsdale instead. And honestly, there's not really too much of a difference between the two of them because they are on very good form at this point in time, and also both with a very good run of fixtures. So Ramsdale will make this team. And then in defense, we have almost the same defense, just that Alonso makes this team, and it's actually just because I want to keep the team value at about 100.8 mil to keep it affordable. And if you can see as well in the extra if you have an extra 1 mil, I actually recommend upgrading Alonso to James as in the previous draft. So if we could, I would stick with the same defense as the previous draft. Then moving forward, we have Silva, Jota, Salah, Brownhill and Mount. So the real only difference here is Jota and Mount. And the funds that have been released from Ronaldo allows us to upgrade Gallagher to Jota, and also allows us to upgrade Bowen to Mount. And of course, these two players, as we can see, we know that they have been in good form as well. And Jota, I already explained that I think he will get some returns moving forward. His place is also quite nailed since he's back from injury. And Mount, we can see as well, Mount has been scoring a lot. He's been in good form. And Chelsea have quite a decent run coming up. And also I know that their defense has been a bit shaky. They've been a bit shaky in recent times. But Mason Mount is a player that has picked up in form, which is quite surprising given that Chelsea has been, not performing as well. But Mason Mount's performance has actually picked up in the same period of time as well. And then up front, we have Gelhardt, also the same as the previous draft. And then we have Watkins and Antonio. So Watkins, I've already explained that Watkins has a good run actually coming up. And he plays Norwich the next game. So really just in time. We can bring him in just in time for that game as well. And then Antonio, because I still do feel like we need an attacking asset in the West Ham team. Just because West Ham's run is really good. And I know Antonio is not in the greatest of form, but generally being the point man and, getting pretty much 90 minutes every game, there will be chances for him, and, he can be someone that can get us returns if he's able to find the form that he was in previously as well. And as said earlier, if you have an extra 1 mil, upgrading Alonso to James would make sense. And if you have an extra 2 mil, we can then upgrade Brownhill to Gallagher, which we have in the previous draft as well. Or we can even go Brownhill to Bowen. So depending on how we feel like, whether we actually want to triple up on West Ham or not, if we don't, we can go Brownhill to Gallagher instead. And then lastly, if you have an extra 2 mil, you can also go Gelhardt to Pukki. So Pukki is actually quite a differential pick at this point in time, because I know Norwich attack is just not very good in general, but Pukki, when Norwich scores, it probably is Pukki, right? He's probably involved in the game, in the attack, and also he's on penalties for them. So if anything happens, he'll probably be at the end of it, and he's actually someone we can count on to get some returns whenever Norwich scores. So this is our second draft. It does not include any Brentford or Manu players, and it is a draft we can consider if the news actually tells us that the Brentford and Manu game may be postponed. So we will have to keep a lookout for that, but at least we have these two drafts that we can play around with, and also the players we picked out can also be the ones that we can consider in whichever team that we are building. So there we have it, guys. These are our two drafts for Game Week 17. Hope you guys found it useful, and before you leave, please help me out and give this video a like, and also hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.